Welcome to the Sensual Feminine Life podcast. I am your host, Jen Bagayski, where I will take you on a deep dive into your own life so that hidden, hurting parts of your soul can be healed. This is a podcast about love, sex, pleasure, and relationships. You will learn how to feel safe, to truly love and connect with your body. Surrender to the desires and hungers of your soul and step into the beautiful, sensual, feminine, sexy, and powerful woman you were created to be. I believe deeply in my soul that sexuality is the missing key in personal growth and development. It is time to toss away all of the nonsense you have been taught about these taboo topics and heal your relationship to your sexuality. You can eliminate shame and guilt, own your sexy confidence, feel incredible in your skin, embrace the depths of exquisite pleasure, and have the deeply connected relationships you truly desire. Grab your cozy socks, pour yourself a glass of wine, get comfy, and let's get started. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to episode 3 of the Sensual Feminine Life podcast, where today's topic is let's talk about sex, baby. Right? So let's talk about it, right? What truly is sex, sexuality, sexual power, you name it. Now, let's first start with what is sex, right? That's the word that's the trigger for everyone. Ooh, right? Sex. It is, according to Webster, right? Sex is a sexually motivated phenomena or behavior or sexual intercourse. Okay? This is what we all think of when we hear the term sex. It's two people getting together, having physical intimacy. But what I would like to challenge everyone listening here today is that sex is much bigger than what we have been taught today. Is that a component of it? Absolutely. Is there more to it? Absolutely. But the truth is, we have not been taught the real beauty around sexuality because of everything that has been passed down from generation to generation in regards to sex being a taboo topic, right? And I'm going to generalize here for a minute. You may agree, you may not agree. It's okay. But what we hear ever since we're little girls, right, is you need to be careful because men want you for sex. Boys are going to want you for sex, so you need to protect yourself. These are some of the things that we are taught about sex. We're taught about the birds and bees at a certain age in our life. And it's not an easy topic to talk about for a lot of people. So there's very little education that is taught around the topic. And whether you went to a private school, a Catholic school, you went to a public school, right? There's definitely a broad range, right, of the different things that are taught in this particular arena. And I think it's important for us to create more open dialogue on more than just the birds and bees. Because when I started doing research for my first book, and I asked tons of people, what were you taught about sex? And I got 3 answers for the most part. One was, don't do it till you're married. The other was, use protection. And the third was nothing. Now, I just want you to pause for a moment and soak that in. Now, if you came from a family where you openly talked about it, bless you. I am so happy that you were gifted with a family that allowed you to be open to talk about this. We need more people like you out there in the world. But the truth of the matter is, most of us don't know how to talk about it. We're too ashamed to talk about it. Or better yet, we don't even know how to talk about it because we don't know ourselves. I remember having a conversation with my mom even just a couple of years ago, and she said, Jen, I didn't know these things myself. I couldn't teach you. And I said, I know. But here's the thing. If we don't know that we don't know something, right, we can't shift it. We can't change our thinking on something if we have no idea that what we have been taught or what has been ingrained into us, that there could be a different way, that there could be a different answer. And this is why I am so passionate about talking about this topic. There are too many women who have had some type of sexual abuse or trauma. And you know what? There are plenty of men out there as well too, right? And when I say sexual trauma, it could mean a variety of different things. It could be inappropriately touched. It could be rape. It could be date rape. It could be you saying no, but going with it anyway, right? Your heart was saying no, but you just gave in. That is still sexual trauma, ladies. Those of us who have maybe had sex with others and ended up pregnant or had abortions. There is so much in this space that we need to be more open talking about it. And I remember when I first started this journey and I would have coffee talks with people, they would say, thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing your story. Because it allowed them to open up to the beginning of thinking about healing their own. As I mentioned in some of the previous episodes, I was sexually abused by my grandfather as a little girl, and I had experienced date rape as a teenager. I said no, but I let it happen anyway. And these experiences shape who we are and how we show up. If we do not go back and heal them, they stay with us. They create imprints in our body that block us from the truth of who we truly are. Some of this unhealed trauma stopped me from feeling like I was that beautiful, sexy, gorgeous woman that I saw in my dream. No one else can heal that for us. Many of us listeners out there, whether you are married or you are looking for a partner, right? Women want to be loved. Our number one desire is to be loved, right? And we want to have a loving soulmate, partnership, companion to live our lives with. But it is not that man's job to save us. He can love us, but only we can do the work to heal our own sexual traumas. And these things might not actually be known to you. You may have hidden sexual trauma you didn't know about. You may actually did not realize were sexual traumas, but in fact, they actually were. The only way to heal the body, to heal sexuality, to heal shame about the body, is to set an intention that you want to heal that part of your life. It is so easy to ignore it. This is important for us to remember. Okay? We know men have high sex drives, right? You know, if you take a look at all of the different things what are the top 10 things men want in a relationship, and what are the top things women want, right? In the top 3 for men is always sex. And the top 3 for women is not always sex. Usually further down on the bottom, if they're at all. If we want to have a great relationship with our partner, we need to be able to allow ourselves to open up to healing what is getting in the way of our sexuality. Because in the decade that I have been studying this work, there is so much more to learn. So much more. And sexuality is spirituality. I remember when I started this journey years ago, and I went and I interviewed a priest, because being the good Catholic girl, I had to understand like what the Catholic Church really believed and why we taught what we taught. And I remember talking with this man, and I said, what does the church really believe about sexuality? And his response to me was, Jen, sexuality is spirituality. And if more people knew that, we would have less wounding, less trauma, less rape, less depression in the world today. I said, well, that's great, but why doesn't the church teach that then? I went through years, all of my grammar school and high school years in a Catholic school. Why are they not teaching this? Dad, you are being taught the organization of the church, not the church real teachings. Well, okay, that's great. Well, why can't somebody change that? Right? Why is somebody not more open and honest to talk about the real beauty around sexuality? Connecting with your own body is not shameful, disgusting, dirty, or messy. That you are not a bad person for embracing your own pleasure, or even wanting to connect with another human being and experience the ecstasy of intimacy. Of more education on this topic, and to not have people be so ashamed to talk about it. In the years that I have been doing my women's circles and fireside chats, I have had many people say, I'm comfortable talking about it and I want to be open about it. And I have had some people say, I'm not coming to your stuff. Nobody needs to know about my sex life. I get that and I respect that. It's not about everybody knowing about everybody else's sex lives. It's about the education that is needed around this topic. I go back to that vision that I talked about in our second episode, or the intuitive vision board, right? That naked picture of Adam and Eve, right? It's coming back again. We are ashamed of being naked. We're ashamed of what that is. We're ashamed of what our male and female bodies are. So we try to make them something they're not. Or we get disgusted because they're not perfect. We could actually embrace our bodies as they are. Embrace the beauty of sexuality. And understand that when you can love your body fully and completely, and you can be in the depths of who you are, that is when you can give and share yourself with another. We're filled with love and energy coming together and sharing that sacred union together. That is what intimacy is about. The challenge that we have in today's world is that so many of us carry traumas and wounds in our bodies about our bodies. And many times we are looking for attention outside of ourselves. We want that love and affection from a man, from someone else. Learn how to heal that within ourselves. So when I hear people saying, ooh, Jen's the sex lady, we're kind of a little nervous of what she's going to talk about. Yes, I talk openly about sex, sexuality, orgasm, pleasure, intimacy. But it goes much deeper than that. Because in order to truly enjoy sex, we have to learn to connect with our own bodies first. This journey is that we are spiritual beings living inside a physical body. That we need to learn how to love that physical body, connect with that physical body before we can truly give ourselves over and share ourselves with someone else. Again, this is just the beginning of this topic. I could probably talk for hours, days, seminars, you name it, on this topic, because there is so much growth and development that is available in this arena. If you are someone who is single, who is listening to this, you don't need a partner to heal your sexuality and to get in touch with your true feminine self, to love your body as you are. And if you are a woman who is married, who would really like a better relationship with her partner. You can do that through a combination of doing work by yourself and doing work together as a couple. But it all begins with you. We stop blaming men and partners and other people for not knowing how to get our needs met. Is when things shift. We need to learn ourselves. We can't expect men to know how to please us when we don't even know how to do it ourselves. But yet, it's a topic we're not supposed to talk about. So let's break the taboos and let us be on a journey of talking more in depth about this topic. This is what I do in my in-person fireside chats or my traveling fireside chats, where women can come together in your home and talk about these topics because they are so important. And it's one thing to talk with a girlfriend, right? Sometimes we do that. But when you have a sacred invitation, there is an intention behind it, right? And you can be held by someone who currently has had a decade of knowledge, wisdom, and experience and teachings in this arena. It makes a difference. Because I understand where many of you were. When I started this journey, I was the good Catholic girl who knew nothing. Or I should say very little. Yes, I have 4 children, but at the same time, my knowledge in this space was very limited, which is why I have buried myself into learning as much as I can on this topic. To be taking courses, to be getting certified in a variety of different practices, right? To dive into being a love, sex, and relationship coach, so that we can open the doors to talk about this topic more freely. So that not only can we talk freely, but that we as women can be free, not just for ourselves, but for current, past, and future generations. Because when we are able to begin having healthy conversations around sexuality, you not only heal yourself, but you open up the door to heal for those loved ones all around you as well. Because I can share you this. If you do not heal your own pain and trauma, it gets passed down to our children. And they have to deal with it. Decide that you are going to make the choice that you are doing this not selfishly. You are doing this for your own healing, but you are also doing this for the healing of your current partnership, your future partnership, and or for your children and your children's children and their partnerships. That is the reason, more than enough reason, to say yes to talking about sex and sexuality and doing the healing work that will allow you to create more freedom in your life, love, and relationships.
Thank you so much for listening to the Sensual Feminine Life podcast. I'm your host, Jen Bogaiski. If you have enjoyed what you heard today, be sure to hit the follow button so you don't miss future episodes. And leave a review to help reach other passionate women like you know they are not alone in this journey to experiencing thriving relationships, exquisite pleasure, and sexy confidence. If you have felt a calling to take this work to a deeper level, this is your sacred invitation to join my free Facebook group, Essential Feminine Life, or schedule a heart to heart with me to learn more about how you can take this work to the next level and say yes to your pleasure and your desire.